It's the medic from Team Fortress 2.
Spazie Champion Guides.
Hello YouTube! Spazie coming right at you with another guide. Today we're doing Nautilus, the new champion. The beefy champion that throws anchors all over the place. Diver champion. Didn't think that when I first picked him up, but really he is indeed a very fun champion. So we're gonna go through the runes to masteries, the abilities, and everything you need to know in order to play this champion. Wait for it. Like a boss. Let's dive into those abilities straight away, shall we? Starting off with that passive Staggering Blow, Nautilus basic attacks deals an additional 8 to 59 physical damage and immobilizes his target for 0.5 to 1 seconds. This effect cannot trigger on the same target more than once every 12 seconds, so it's an internal counter, and all you gotta do is keep in mind that your auto attacks can stun, so it might be important in team fights to land those, and if you do that, you will use this passive effectively. His Q is his most important ability, the Dredge Line. Nautilus hurls his anchors forward. If it hits an enemy unit, Nautilus drags himself and the target together, dealing 80 to 240 magic damage and stunning them briefly. This scales decently on AP, but you are gonna build your Nautilus tank anyway if you want to get the most out of this character. If the anchor hits terrain, Nautilus will drag himself forward and the cooldown is reduced by 50%. And this was the hardest part for me to keep in mind when I was starting to learn this character, because you don't generally just want to waste your abilities on a whim when jungling. But with Nautilus, once you get to the mid-game at least, you can really just use this Q to travel forward faster, and that really makes up for the slow movement speed that it's got. And you can also use it to position yourself better in team fights or before team fights, because once you get to the end game, the cooldown will be significantly low and you can really spam away. Moving on to the W, Titan's Wrath. Nautilus surrounds himself with dark energies, darkness, shielding him from the next 80 to 280 plus 10% of his bonus health damage up to 10 seconds. And as long as his shield is active, Nautilus basic attacks apply a damage over time effect to all units around his targets in a small area. This effect deals 30 to 150 magic damage over 2 seconds on a 0.4 AP scaling. That's not really important. What's important is that this is the ability you should be maxing for that jungle speed. And jungle speed is really important if you want to be competitive and really get those ganks early and get those buffs and keep up with the experience. And if you follow this guide, you are going to supplement this ability with some attack speed on your rune page. We'll go through that a bit later, but this is a great ability for jungling. And now he's a Riptide. Nautilus slams the ground, causing earth to explode around him. Each explosion deals 60 to 220 magic damage to units in the area. It also slows them by 30 to 50% for 2 seconds, and this slows diminishes over time. A unit can be hit by more than one explosion, but they take 50% less damage from additional explosions. Once you've hit a Q on an enemy and followed that up with an auto attack for the stun, you are gonna pop this one to keep them slowed. And it also helps a little bit with jungling. Ultimate time, Depth Charge. I love that word, depth. So much fluffs in it. Nautilus fires a shockwave that chases an enemy champion. This deals 125 to 225 magic damage to enemies it passes through and knocks them into the air. The shockwaves explode upon hitting the target, and that deals 250 to 450 magic damage, and launching them into the air, stunning them for 1 to 2 seconds. So potentially a very huge AoE ultimate that stuns and knocks up, and hitting this on the right target can really make or break a team fight. What do we do with the skills? We pick up W on level 1, leveling that up first, prioritizing that for the damage and jungling speed. You pick up E on level 2 and max that second. Pick up the Q on level 3 so you can gank, and always grab the ultimate whenever it's up. And now we're at the runes. I pick up attack speed marks in order to synchronize well with that W and do a quick jungling rune. I do find this to be more efficient than magic pen or anything of the like. I pick up 2 movement speed quints and 1 flat health quints. This is just a personal thing that I like. You can pick up full movement speed, full health, or anything of the like. Pick up those armor seals, flat armor, in order to keep your health high in the jungle, and magic resist per level glyphs. And for masteries, we're going 0-21-9 as a tanky jungler. We are picking up the tough skin, bladed armor, all the way down to Juggernaut. Also picking up improved smite there, and grabbing movement speed and increased buff duration, and also improved flash in the utility tree. For items, I always start off with the cloth armor and health pots. I do feel like I need it. I tried playing around with the regrowth pennant and health pot, but I do feel like I went down too far on the HP levels, and that was just not very safe, nor could I gank once I got level 3. So pick up that cloth armor and health pots. Start with the wolves, move your way to the golems, get a nice pull on both of those, kill the wraiths, small golems, then the red buff, and you should be able to gank or really keep on clearing the jungle if you did have a safe jungling trip thus far. First item should be the Philosopher's Stone, a gold per 5, also very nice for regaining and getting more sustain in the jungle. Second item, boots, upgrading those to either Merc Treads, or I've even played around with boots and mobility, and those are quite fun, but Merc Treads is what I recommend. And also grabbing the Heart of Gold. Now, in my opinion, Aegis of the Legion is just an awesome item on this guy, due to the fact that you're always in the thick of it. You should always be there, giving that beautiful aura that works so nicely mid-game at Drake fights or anywhere on the map. And it's just, I find it hard to find a reason not to get this item, that I'm just ending up getting it every single game. After that though, you can kind of vary it up a bit, depending on what you have on your setup, what the enemy has, but these are some of the defensive items that I recommend. You've got your Frozen Heart for armor, you've got your Force of Nature for magic resist. Abyssal Scepter is also quite strong on him, I reckon, even though it contains some AP and that is an offensive ability. Yeah, it really synchronizes well due to the fact that you will be in the thick of it most of the time. And based on the same principles, Rando's Omen is also very, very strong on him. But maybe you should consider either that or Frozen Heart, I don't know. As a jungler, don't forget to ward up the entrances to your jungle so you support your team and help yourself to not lose out on any jungler due to invasions. And also guys, if you get a couple of kills, invest in an Oracle. It's really worth it since you are quite beef and probably won't die if you play well. So there you have it guys, that's the core build right there. Now you might want to experiment a bit with some other items, maybe Frozen Mallet, maybe Atmos Impaler, Shirelia's Reverie, and maybe even Sunfire Cape. I don't know, you guys try it out. This is the core that I usually go for. So let's look at some footage. Now the main thing we're gonna talk about here is his Q, because the Q is the key to succeeding with this champion, and that's basically all there is to it. The rest of it is pretty much piece of cake. Of course you can master its ultimate a little bit, and just a general rule of thumb there is just to hit it on the back line of the targets, of the squishy targets, and it will go through the rest of them and just knock them in the air. But generally what you want to do is walk up to the target if you can, use your Q when they are trying to get their inevitable escape going, and just pull them back into you and do the damage. And I'm just gonna take a look at this next clip where I'm ganking Ziggs again. Now here Ari doesn't even land the charm, but we still managed to pull off a kill here due to the fact that the CC is just so strong. It's incredible, especially with red buff. Now Ziggs does a bad job there indeed with his knockback thingy, but still, it's the potential you have of CCing targets and nuking down targets when you step into the lane for gank, especially with your ultimate, is just so threatening. And your main combo is gonna be, when you land that Q, activate your W before the first auto attack, land that first auto attack, including the passive, the stun, and after the target is stunned, land your E for the slow, and then just pump out the damage from there. And that CC is generally gonna be enough for your allied in the lane to just melt them basically. But we're gonna see some good ganks and some bad ganks here in the background, and I believe this was one of the worst gank. We managed to pick up the kill anyway, but I was just clumsy with my engagement. I could have done that better. Here we're gonna see just a basic gank on the Lee Sin. Shen's gonna move in with the Shadow Dash, beautiful there, just hitting my auto attack, hitting E after the auto attack, and then just queuing him back to me when he tries to get away. So just very, very basic there. But as you can see, it's very hard to get away from him once you overextend in your lane, and that's where he shines, this character. Now here I'm gonna try and make it look like I'm trying to get away from Master E, because Akali is coming in, and now I'm gonna hit my E, slowing him down. He's gonna pop his ultimate, but I'm just gonna pull him back in there and pick up the kill. Unfortunately, I think Akali needed that a bit more, but I don't know what it is about this character. On a side note, guys, this character kill steals all the time, and I am gonna blame the freaking champion here, because I don't do that. Now, let's take a look at some ganks where I perform very poorly. Here, for instance, I am moving in on Leona and Ashe, moving straight in, not through the brush, which is bad, flashing in, using my ultimate on Ashe. Ashe is just flashing away, and Leona is doing a good job there, standing in front of her, so I cannot land my Q, and I'm trying to burn Leona down instead with Ezreal's help, but her heal is going to save her, and that huge banana is not going to pick up the kill, unfortunately. Now, the problem here is that I'm thinking that the ultimate is going to secure the kill. It really doesn't. It seldom does. You really want to think your Q is what secures the kills. Now, here I could have flashed in and gone for her with my Q, as you see there, but I didn't. I went for the ultimate, and that's why I'm playing this clip again, because I really think it's a crucial mistake. If I would have hit that Q instead, I could have slowed her, done all types of stuff, but since the ultimate is a very slow projectile, people can act accordingly when they see it being tossed on you, and Ashe doesn't need that much skill to just flash away from that, and just a bad play in general. Some other thoughts about the Q: don't forget that you can use it to move about. It doesn't really cost that much mana, and you really should just use it on objectives to get, get to places quicker, because the movement speed on this guy is not the best, and remember that you can also use it to get away. Now, I want to look at another unsuccessful gank again, and there's a valuable lesson at the end of this clip, guys. As you can see, I'm gonna ping Sivir here. Ashe is gonna put down a good ultimate. She doesn't react quickly enough. She spell shields the Orianna ultimate, unfortunately, and as you can see, a nice knock up there from not the other Nautilus, sorry, my brain farted a bit there. And I'm gonna stay here now. Not much I could have done there. Maybe I could have flashed for Sivir. Didn't want to be that ballsy, but now I'm thinking, let's be ballsy. I don't know if they have a ward here. I'm asking my support. She doesn't know. So I'm just chilling. I'm just seeing what happens. And as you will see, Sivir is gonna move out. Now, notice that I'm not using my Q. That's a good English sentence. Flashing up top of Sivir there, putting down my damage, putting down the stun, and when she's trying to get away, popping my ultimate to stun her up and finishing her off. Now look, I haven't used my Q yet. I could have. I'm not using my Q until now for getting away. Now look, Orianna's shield there, just gonna pop that onto me, and I'm gonna be okay. Never use your Q under the turret for damage. It's just stupid. If you're taking the turret aggro, which you should be doing since you're the tank, you need to save that Q for getting away. And yeah, I know it feels like, but I can put some free damage with it onto them. No, it's not a damage spell, it's a CC and utility spell. And you don't need to CC them under the turret, do you? No, they will probably stay there. What you need is a tool for getting away, and that is just what it is. Hooray! Okay, so that's that. Zero's mode off, so never make that mistake, please. And one more thing, Nautilus is not mana hungry at all. So remember to give that blue to your AP mid, because they will be happy. And a great tool for doing so is just hitting on it and then hitting on it. Ooh, hello, Mr. Blue. Do you wanna maybe grab a cup of coffee and go back to my place? No. Where was I? Yeah, press the S button when it's getting low, because your character will stop and not do anything, and the AP can easily last hit it. Now before we call it a day, let's look at some team fights. Here we're doing a 2v2 top, Akali staying in that shroud, and now I'm doing my ultimate on Masteries there, man. We do want to burst him down quickly because he does the most bursty damage, and unfortunately I'm not able to land a Q on him. I'm grabbing Mundo instead, but Akali picking up the kill on Masteries, trying desperately to get away now, but that cleaver's gonna hit her to the face, and she is gonna go down. And I'm gonna chase down Mundo. That's slow. I'm gonna do a little nice trick there. I noticed that he saw me turning around going back. I'm hoping that he will always overextend and not realize the power of the anchor. Oh yeah, that's CC grabbing the kill. For this next clip, we are pushing 2 men onto their base, and 2 players are coming as well. I'm going in anyway, because I'm extremely fed in this game, if I recall. Trying to stun Ashe with my passive there, and Aswell doing some nice damage under the turret, and that lifesteal is going to show as well. I'm just going to kite here, throwing down my ultimate on Leona, and just saying away. Ooh, this almost killed me. Oh, gonna get away. Here comes Master Yi, hungry for some blood. Missing that Q, oh my god, such fail. And wow, lucky that Alpha Strike doesn't bounce onto me. Just, Akali's coming in here, and I'm thinking, hey, let's turn around. Popping my shield there, and my god, that damage. Pure win. And for the last clip, I'm heading bottom as I see Shen moving in for a gank. Our Orianna is not in a good position. He's gonna land that Shadow Dash. Good job. That is doing some OP damage now after the patch, by the way. Orianna there, gonna melt. But Ashe is doing some decent damage. And I'm coming in now, popping the ultimate on all of them. Beautiful. Going in for the slow, trying to do the best I can. But Ashe is gonna, have problem with that much CC. Just kiting as good as she can. Shen is coming in though, and now we're going for it. Nice Shadow Dance on Sivir. Beautiful job. Now we're gonna pursue them. Can I get an E on this guy? Yes, I can. And one stun there off from the passive. My god, Shen does a lot of damage. And I'm thinking that we are gonna dive this. Why shouldn't we? We have so much CC. Get back here, you! Oh, yes. Beautiful. So yeah, some final words. Nautilus is, I thought at the beginning he was just another Sejuani. He is very similar, but he's so much more rewarding. He's so much more potent in the jungle. And yeah, it took a couple of games before I actually got into how he plays. Like, to play him efficiently actually takes a couple of games. And in the beginning I was just feeling mediocre and very, very weak. But at the end, after a couple of games, I felt like, my god, this guy is good. So, all in all, if you like being that type of guy that initiates, that sets the enemies up for your friends to pwn their faces, this is the champion for you. He is very fun, and I suggest you pick him up immediately. That is basically it for my guide to Nautilus. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, guys, and want to support me to get more content like this in the future, just feel free to hit that like button and add this to your favorite. It takes a second and it really helps me out. My god, my mouth is just going and going. No one can stop me. Okay, if you want to comment anything about the champion, anything about the guide, or anything that's on your mind, just do it in the comment box below. Even though I might not have time now, guys, to answer all the comments like I used to, I still read them all and I appreciate them all extremely much. If you want to have a chat with me or any of the other Planty lovers, just join the Spazie chat on EU West. We're having some fun throwing down games and just having a bloody good time. Don't forget to subscribe if you don't want to miss any more content coming out in the future. This has been Spazie, wishing you all a happy Friday, and I am out. Do it!